Yo, the audio is probably absolute trash right now. Say hi, Lemur.
Hi, Lemur.
You already know what it is. It's Lemur, it's me. We're back before I go out of town. I won't say where I'm going because it's a surprise for some people. But we're back with another episode. You already saw the title, Diner Dash episode number 2. It's been way too freaking long since our first episode. I think we should have been doing this a whole lot more. But, you know, this is what the cards dealt us. Anyways, today we're checking out a little joint that my mother has graciously recommended to me multiple times. Me being the son that I am, I've been like, nah, I don't want to eat where you eat, old lady. You know, obviously I don't actually say that to her. She scares me. I'm terrified of her. But it's that thing of like, oh, someone recommends something and you're like, nah, I don't want to eat there. You recommended it. But we're here. We're trying out Basil and Sprout. So it's a Vietnamese joint. Supposedly it's really good. For those of you who know, I spent a week in Vietnam. It was amazing. Ate pho for breakfast every day. I am a pho connoisseur. So I might get some pho today. I don't know. I'm going to go see what they got on the menu. Maybe a little banh mi action. But yeah, I'm excited. What do you think, Lemur? I've been kind of rambling here.
I think I'm hungry.
Do you have any opinions about Vietnamese food, restaurant, anything?
Honestly, I haven't had enough Vietnamese food to have an opinion on it. Aside from, I'm open to it. I've had a little bit. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I kind of like it. I kind of want to try more, branch out a little bit, you know. But I'm excited for the pho.
Heck yeah. We're going into this with high standards, lower expectations, you know? And yeah, let's go see what this menu has, and we'll come back and let you guys know if it's a dine or a dash. Deuce. All right, so before we full on enter the zone, the Basil and Sprout zone, we want to, you know, get a hand on the city and what the people are saying. So my boy Lemur here pulled up some reviews of said joint. He's going to read a 5-star review and a 1-star review so we can kind of get all the extremes. So what do we got for the 5-star?
Friendly staff, amazing food, and a clean restaurant. It's a nice place to sit down and enjoy your food, or take your food to go and treat yourself to a picnic with it. Staff was friendly, and there was no wait. The food is delicious and fresh. The chicken spring rolls are refreshing and filling. I also got the char grilled beef sandwich, and I highly recommend it. I had a really nice taro milk tea with boba to drink. Ooh, boba. That sounds nice. I will be coming back, and again, absolutely recommend Basil and Sprout.
Dang, char grilled beef sandwich sounds bussin'. And I know all about that to-go life because that's what my mom does with this joint. So we're not going nowhere. We're gonna eat there. But yeah, what's our 1-star review? And then I'll explain a little bit of our rating.
All right, let me find it again. It took me a second before. Oh, jeez. I'm getting in some trouble. We'll cut this out. Cut out the blah, blah, blah.
That's what he thinks.
Anyway. Gotta cut this out. Okay, lowest.
All right.
Ordered via delivery service. Restaurant gave my order to a random person, then refused to remake the order once the actual delivery driver showed up to collect the order. The restaurant contacted me directly to assure me they were aware of the mix-up and said they will remake my order, only to call me back 5 minutes later, saying they spoke with management and will not be remaking my order even after admitting fault. They advised me I had to reach out to the delivery service for a refund. Through their negligence, not only did they waste 2 hours of my time, but also the time of the delivery driver, who they gave the runaround for 20 minutes. I will discourage everyone I know. I never support this establishment again.
Dang. Okay, well, first thing, as somebody who works in the food service industry, I work at Chick-fil-A, and I work there, and we have these things happen all the time where DoorDash, Uber Eats, delivery drivers, it goes to the wrong place, people call. As much as I hate to be that guy, once it leaves our store, it's no longer in our hands. It is the responsibility of said DoorDash or Uber Eats delivery driver, and in order to fix it, you have to contact DoorDash or Uber Eats because you ordered it through them. If you ordered it through like our app or something via delivery, then we would be the ones to immediately fix it. But since you didn't order it through, you know, that us, it's up to them, which I think would probably still apply to a place like this. I don't know exactly how that works, but
isn't it also on the restaurateurs to verify who they're giving the food
to a degree it is. So I'm not completely excusing the restaurant. However, I will say we will not be taking that into account when grading our food unless there is a mix up, but the food quality will still remain the same.
Yeah.
Which leads me into the next and final point here before we actually enter the restaurant. We rate on a 5-star scale, 5 being excellent, 1 being abominable, and we rate 5 different things. We rate the actual food itself, the service, we rate the value of said restaurant, whether it's worth the money, and then at some point one of us checks out the bathroom. And we also rate the vibes of the restaurant, whether it feels cool. Because, I mean, it could be good food, and you could be in a dark alleyway with someone shanking you in the back. So it might not, the vibes are way off in that moment, despite how good the filet mignon is.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we're now going to actually enter the joint, and we'll catch y'all afterwards. Deuces. Alrighty, guys. We're officially back from our excursion within Basil and Sprout. So just sort of overall, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. The atmosphere seemed to be pretty light. It was tastefully decorated.
Yeah. I would say, us not having been there, we were definitely expecting, I mean, I'm speaking for both of us, but I'll assume you'll agree unless if you disagree, you can say otherwise. We were expecting something different.
Yeah, a little bit. I wasn't aware that it was like more of a takeout place than it was a sit-down place. They did have some seating. They had more than I'd probably say other takeout places generally have.
Which was nice. I would agree with that. It did feel like more, and it was nice because you didn't feel like you were kind of sitting right on top of everybody else.
Yeah.
Like some fast food and some takeout joints are that way, where it's real crammed in there. I would say, just based off of like, if you just put me in there and didn't tell me where I was, I don't think, without looking at the menu, I don't think I would have guessed that it was a Vietnamese Asian joint.
Yeah, it almost had like a kind of trendy coffee shop kind of vibe going.
Yeah. So, obviously, here on Diner Dash, we rate whether things are a dine or a dash, and we use a 5-star scale. As we've already said, we rate the food, the vibes, we rate the service, we rate the value, and then we also check out the bathroom because we want to get the full experience. So we'll start off with the vibes because the vibes begin outside and throughout the whole experience as you're going in. What are you thinking for vibes?
For vibes, I'd say that it's pretty decent. I'll give it a 4, maybe a 4.5. They did have some like self-service checkout station that was no longer available. They had like ripped the hardware out of it, so you had to go to the front counter. I'd say that with that being like serviceable and there, it probably would scale higher. But with like the guts being ripped out and stuff, and the area still just being there left as it is, it's a little bit of an eyesore.
Do you think? Obviously, it had that trendy coffee house vibe. Do you think that took away at all from the experience with us expecting, like, sort of like a more close, like me personally, I wasn't expecting that trendy coffee house vibe. I was expecting more like a Vietnamese restaurant type of vibe, or not even necessarily specifically a Vietnamese restaurant. Which, let me clarify real quick. Pardon for any vibrating. My phone is going off a little bit. I do apologize. But I was expecting more of that sort of like, I don't know, just like Asian restaurant type of vibe.
Yeah. So
Do you,
looks are a little bit deceiving with it, but
do you think it takes away from it?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but like honestly, vibes are just kind of universal.
Yeah.
To an extent for me. I'd say that overall the atmosphere was pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't have like the usual decorum that you expect from like a Vietnamese or similar type of restaurant.
Yeah, I would say I'd give it like a 3.5 as far as the vibes for me. Obviously, yeah, looks can be deceiving. But I would say the vibes, there definitely wasn't any bad vibes, I would say.
Yeah.
I give it a 3.5, which that seems harsh, but it's really not because it is a 5 scale. And I mean, if you get a 3.5 on something like a movie or, you know, something like that's not a bad thing, I don't think. Bathroom we'll go with next, because I went to the bathroom at the beginning and you went at the end. I'll take the reins on this since I started. Went in. One thing I will say that was actually nice about the bathroom is the vibe of the restaurant continued into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Some places, specifically takeout places, smaller joints, heavy on the vibes in the restaurant, and then you get into the bathroom and it's like
a gas station bathroom.
It's like a gas station bathroom,
but not like a Cumberland Farms or like
Yeah, this ain't no Buc-ee's bathroom.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't gas station level bathroom either. It was a nice gas station bathroom.
Yeah, it continued from the restaurant, which obviously not gonna spend a billion years in there, but it's nice to go in and not feel like you immediately want to get out.
Yeah.
So I would honestly go with what you did for vibes. I would give it like a 4.5 for the bathroom, personally. I thought the bathroom was nice. It was clean. It was well lit, which was good. A lot of places, y'all be losing lights in your bathroom and not caring.
Yeah.
What are you rating what are you gonna give it? I give it 4.5.
Yeah, I'd say a 4.5. There's a little bit of decorum in the bathroom too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was clean. You know,
Yeah.
it had like a kind of nice looking floor. You know.
Yeah. It was very nice. Now we've done the vibes. We've done the bathroom. Service is what we're gonna go with next. Service-wise, they were friendly. They were welcoming. While you were in the restroom, people were leaving and they said bye, and the dude even on the phone paused what he was doing, was like, bye, have a good one. They were nice. Obviously, in a place like that where it is sort of it's more for takeout and you're ordering at the counter and sitting down, you're not expecting much from the service, just because it's not really all about a waiter coming and serving you constantly.
Yeah.
So I would say it was good. We can sort of tie this in with the vibes a little bit. They were out of the banh mi sandwiches. I don't know how regular of an occurrence that is, but we tried ordering one and they were just like, we do not have them. So that was a little bit of a bummer as far as service goes. We were not served a banh mi sandwich that we preferably probably would have wanted, but it's not necessarily a big enough thing because this was our first time going. Maybe they were just out and it's a one-time thing, so it doesn't really hurt it that much. I would say service-wise, for what it is, obviously, if this was a sit-down restaurant with a waiter or waitress, we would be more strict with it, with our rating. But for what it is, I'd give it a 4.
I can see that.
What you going with a 4 as well?
I'd probably give it a 4.5 just because of how friendly the guy at the counter was. There are some takeout places that you go to and it's the person hardly
acknowledges you.
Hardly acknowledges you. They're really curt with you. They're just hey, put in your order and then get away from the counter. But This guy was all smiles. You know, he was friendly. He was outgoing. He answered whatever questions I or he had, and you know, he was really chill.
Yeah. Dope. So next up, which we probably should have been keeping track of this. Do you want to pull open your calculator so we can get like a full-on like average score at the end?
Yeah.
All right. So while Lemur pulls up his calculator, I'll remind everybody what we've done so far. So, bathroom. I think we both gave it a 4.5.
All right. 4.5 times 2 plus.
Well, no, you don't want to times it times 2. We both give it a 4.5, so it just gets a 4.5.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
4.5 plus. And then for the service, you gave it a 4.5. I gave it a 4, so average 4.25. So plus 4.25.
4.25.
And then for the vibes, you gave it a 4.5. I gave it a 3.5. So that's a 4.
All right.
And then obviously next up, we're going to go to probably one of the bigger things here that we care about, the food.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not factoring in the price or anything yet. We're just going off the food. I ordered the barbecue pork plate. It was a skillet, came with a massive, I say massive, that's a little extreme.
A decent sized portion.
A very well portioned rice ball, some very well seasoned barbecue pork with extra sauce on the side, came with some marinated carrot and onions, and then it came with a light salad with some cucumbers, some tomatoes, some lettuce, and then there was a bar off to the side where you could get extra veggies if you wanted.
Don't forget the fried egg. You got fried egg with
and
your
there was
too.
A fried egg draped over top of it. Initial looks at the food, I thought it wasn't a ton of pork, and if we're being honest, it probably wasn't a ton of pork, but that actually doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, the rice really filled me up. It was good. It wasn't even really seasoned. It just had a little bit of sesame on it. There's a picture of the whole platter here that you guys can see. But it filled me up very much so, to the fact that like I got done with my plate and I was full, but I also didn't feel like I was like stuffed to the brim, if that makes sense. You want to tell them about what you got? And we'll put a photo up of this as well.
Yeah. So I got the beef pho, the regular size, and I got the bao tacos, which come in 3 flavors. Let me look on the menu real quick.
Yeah, so I think it's like I think it's almost like a bao taco flight type of deal where you get like one of each flavor, correct?
Yeah. One of each type of meat. I think there was lamb. No, there was beef, pork, and chicken. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. And something that I liked about the beef pho was that it had like little bits of like cut up beef sausage in it, which I wasn't expecting, but it was a welcome addition. The broth was savory, but not too salty, so it wasn't super heavy. It was well seasoned, nice and aromatic.
What about your tacos?
The bao tacos, they were pretty interesting. I really enjoyed the flavor of the first one. I think I probably had the barbecue pork one first, but they were all really good. The bao taco bun shell, whatever, was nice and soft. It wasn't too saucy.
It seems like a cool concept. I've never seen those before.
Yeah, and it had like some of that marinated like vegetables on it too. I think carrots and onions.
Heck yeah. So as far as like rating of the actual food, my plate was phenomenal. So I'd give my plate. I mean, it was great. I can't necessarily imagine that there's a place out there that's doing it much better than that as far as my barbecue pork plate. So I'm going to leave a little room on the scale for that, but I'd give it a 4.5. I'd say mine was, it was in a weird way, it was less than I expected, but also more than I expected. And very, very good. Very good.
Yeah. Something I didn't mention was I also got taro milk tea
We'll
as
show
well.
a picture of that as
Taro
well.
bubble tea, which I thought was really good. It had a really nice sweet flavor, kind of vanilla, a little bit nutty, as taros want to be. Though I haven't had a lot of taro.
Was it better than other boba teas you've had, or was it just as good?
I'd say it's about on par.
Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't really a lot of customizability with the tea and the sizes or what you want to add to it. But then again, their focus was more on the food, I imagine.
Yeah. So what would you overall rate your tea, your bao tacos, and your pho?
Well, like you said, I can't imagine there's a lot of places that are doing it much better for takeout, sit down type deal.
Yeah.
So I'd probably give it a solid. I'll leave a little bit more room on the scale than you did. I'll give it a 4, just because I haven't had a lot of Vietnamese food in general, and there's probably still stuff out there to try.
Yeah. I mean, your pho looked good. I obviously didn't have it, but it looked good. But I mean, and this isn't a shot at Basil and Sprout or anything, but I'm willing to bet there's probably a place out there that's doing something crazy with their pho, and it's probably gonna blow you out of the water.
Yeah.
But obviously that wasn't today. And hey, a 4 is a great scale, or a great score on a 5-point scale. So
right.
My food was a 4.5, yours was a 4, so that gives it a 4.25. Which, hey, that's a A. It's not an A plus, but that's an A. I mean, you're still passing with pretty high flying colors.
Mm-hmm. So plus 4.25.
And last but not least, obviously the food score is what you're here for, but this is where it really matters. We're at the value. So my barbecue pork plate, which I just got a cup of water with, my barbecue pork plate was $13.53, if I'm not mistaken. Which I would say, for a place like that, most, I would say, sit down takeout joints, if you're getting, a meal or something, it's gonna be in that range of $10 to $15. Is it more than I want to pay? Yes, but it's also just kind of what we've accepted at this point, as how things are.
Yeah.
So I would say for the value of, $13, almost $14, it was good. It was worth it for that price. I would buy it again at that price. I think if it was much higher, I maybe wouldn't. So maybe if it was 15 or 16, but I'd say for $13, you're getting a pretty good sized plate. And if it doesn't fill you, which I can't imagine it wouldn't fill you, if it doesn't fill you, you have the option to get extra vegetables, and it's not an extra charge for that. So I would say I'd give it a value wise, I'd give it a 4.
Okay. Now, for mine, it was a bit more pricey. I wasn't really expecting the price for the bao tacos. Those were $8.36, something like that. And then the pho, I could have gotten the smaller size. I got the regular, thinking that it wouldn't be as much as it was. So good value for the pho. That was only $13, but it was a big bowl, as you saw in the pictures.
Which I will say, in your defense, they don't really advertise that there is a smaller portion on the menu. So you do kind of go into it thinking that, this is the normal size that everybody gets, which maybe we're just used to, we're growing boys. We're used to ordering a lot and eating a lot of food. And so we kind of have to adjust that in our brain when we go places. We're used to places like Taco Bell, where you go, give me 50 tacos and 3 burritos and a, whatever.
Yeah, and they'll charge you $25 or something for all that.
Yeah, So it's just, so that's not really a knock on them. That's more on us.
Yeah. But I'd say the taro milk tea, the milk tea was fairly priced. It was $3 something, which is about run of the mill. That's on par with most other places. The bao tacos, they were some tasty little tacos right there, but I think that they were a bit overpriced for the portion. Maybe not for the taste, but definitely for the portion.
Yeah, which I will say, that is something I've noticed with places, is a lot of times the appetizers, I guess, I think that's what that technically was considered, was an appetizer. I feel like a lot of places with the appetizers, they are more expensive than they should be.
Yeah. So I don't recall how expensive the banh mi was. It might have been more affordably priced for the amount, but
I think all of the banh mi's were around the same, of like $13, which we didn't see, how big of a portion that was. They didn't offer it, so we can't really speak to that.
Yeah. So
I gave mine a 4 as far as how good it was for the value, because I think it was a reasonable value.
Yeah, and I'd say for what I got, with the price being like $31.02,
which I will actually say this quick before you go. I will adjust my scale slightly. I will actually give my value a 3.5. I'm going to lower it slightly and give a little more room, because I think it was a good value. And so I think it was a good value for what it is, because that's what most things are. So I think that does end up putting it more middle of the road, because I feel like the way that the scale should work is like a 4 or a 5 means it was like $10 and we got a ton of food type of thing. So I'm going to lower mine a little bit to a 3.5, just because it was kind of where everything else is, which would be in that middle of the road, middle of the scale, if that makes sense. What would you, sorry to cut you off, but what would you rate yours?
I think that for what I got, the pho was a really decent sized portion. I probably could have gotten full off of just that. But with the banh mi tacos being how expensive they were, I'd probably give my value for the total around a 3.
Okay, yeah.
Around a 3, because it was a little over $30.
$30 for a drink, a soup,
and
some tacos,
a couple mini tacos. Yeah, so I'd say definitely a 3.
Okay, so yours is a 3, mine's a 3.5, so that puts it at a 3.25 as far as the value goes. So I'll let you add that in.
And it gives us a total score of 20.25.
Did you divide it?
Divide it.
So, because we're going to do...
Oh, divide it by 5?
Yeah, because we're going to do the average to get the grand score.
4.05.
Okay. So I don't remember specifically what we rated our last joint, but I would say a 4.05 is not bad on a 1 to 5 scale.
Yeah.
I mean, that I would definitely say that gives it a dime. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I'd say it's a dime.
Yeah, I would recommend people go there. And it's also, we don't really factor this in. Maybe we should. We'll discuss that later, but it's also not like out of the way. It's around a lot of stuff. It's easily accessible.
Yeah.
Because some joints, there's some hole-in-the-wall joints that it's like a little bit of a chore to get to sometimes. But this was right in the middle of town, and yeah, I'd say it's a dime. Basil and Sprout gets a 4.05. I recommend going. Let us know if you go, if it's good. If they have the banh mi sandwiches and you try them, let us know if they're good, and we'll pull up and maybe get one sometime. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content from us as far as Diner Dash goes, we will be doing more of these when the time fits. So hit that subscribe button down below. Just hit the subscribe button. My words are all over. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more of me and more of this man and his lovely face. I love making him uncomfortable. And comment down below if you know any hole-in-the-wall joints here in where we are, and we might try them out. You have any final words for the people?
Narf!
Alrighty, that says it all. Peace.